Hi, I'm Nick, and today I'll be showing you how to use the Pipe Guardian Android app to control the Pipe Guardian family of smart water devices. So we'll begin by downloading the app from the Google Play Store, and we run it. Now we're on the login page. We go to register as a new user of the app. Let's type in our email address. Then we type in a password to use with the app. Then our first name and our last name. Okay, and we say register. And it says thank you for registering. Now we're going to register as the owner of our units. Today we're going to be setting up a HydroGuard smart leak detector and a Trident smart water valve. So each unit comes with a card which has a serial number and access code. So let's go ahead and enter data from our cards. We'll do the HydroGuard first, so we'll use its card. Then we say save. Now we are registered as the owner of the unit. Now the app is going to ask for permission to access our location, and we say allow. Now we're going to connect the unit to our home Wi-Fi network. So we're going to select our Wi-Fi network from the list, and then we're going to type in our Wi-Fi password. Okay, then we select our country from the drop-down list, and then we type in our zip or postal code. And then we can see the last time HydroGuard contacted the server. We say start. Please turn off any running water in your home, including your swimming pool fill valve. And we say done. And then unplug HydroGuard from the wall, wait a few seconds, and plug back in. So that's done. Now we're waiting 15 seconds for HydroGuard to boot up. Okay, we are connecting to HydroGuard. We've sent the data. Now we're waiting 45 seconds for HydroGuard to connect to your router. When you go to set up a Trident, you'll go through the exact same process. The only difference is that instead of HydroGuard, it'll say Trident right here. So you set up every single device from us the exact same way. So for the whole family, this is it. Okay, HydroGuard is connected to the internet. Please leave your water off for the next 2 minutes. And we say done. HydroGuard is set up. You should receive water data within an hour. And done. Okay, now we're going to name our HydroGuard. So let's name it home for our home unit. We could name it cabin or whatever else. And we say save. All right, we say done. Now we're done setting up our HydroGuard. Now we're in the settings page, looking at the settings menu. Now let's go ahead and register our Trident. So we're going to look at the card that comes with Trident and enter its serial number and access code. Okay, and we say save. All right, now we were registered as the owner of that unit, and again, we would connect the unit to our home Wi-Fi network. It's the exact same process that we just saw. We don't need to see it again. And then the next step would be to name the Trident. If you want to name your units at a later time, again, in the settings menu, just go to name units, and let's name the Trident. Again, let's name it home because we'll have both units in our house. The HydroGuard will detect a water leak, and the Trident will shut off the water. And we say done. Now let's go ahead and assign the Trident to the HydroGuard. So assign valves to units. Now on the left we see our list of valves, and then on the right each HydroGuard is its own column, and then so we put our finger on the valve to select it, slide it over to the HydroGuard, and release it. Now if you want to unassign the Trident from a HydroGuard at a later time, put your finger on the valve, slide it over to unassign, and it goes away. So we do want to assign it. Now when HydroGuard detects a water leak, Trident can shut off our water. So let's say save, and now those two are linked. Let's go to status. And now on the status page, we can see our Trident, which is the thing we last set up, and let's see what an alarm looks like. Anytime a unit gets an alarm, it'll send you and all of your emergency contacts an email letting you know about the problem. There's a link in the email that you can click to open the app. You can also minimize the app with the circle key at any time and remaximize it to get the latest data. Okay, now we see that our HydroGuard is alarming, and we've got a possible water leak. HydroGuard can also let you know if you've got a pipe that's freezing and going to burst, or if you've got a pipe that's too hot, which could indicate a plumbing problem. We can call the plumber for help, so we click the red plumbing truck, and then click the truck again to call the plumber. we can shut off the water. Now, in this case, it looks like the valve was already shut off, but normally the water would be on. So, we can turn it on. Normally you'd see that the water's already on. So let's turn the water off, and we say turn off, and it says your water will be turned off, and within a minute, Trident will be shutting off the water to your home to prevent any water damage. Here we can see ourselves and all of our emergency contacts. We can let them know if we're unable to get the alarm or if we're getting it. Now, if you say, I'll get it, then all of your emergency contacts will receive an email letting them know that you're getting the alarm. We say more info. Now we see the possible water leak. And now normally there'd be a lot more water flow, but this is not an actual leak. But you can see that the water flow leading up to the leak. If it was a pipe freeze, you would see the decreasing pipe temperature until you near the freezing point. Down here we have advice for how to resolve the problem. We say more info to go back to the alarm. Now let's say we've gone home, we've fixed the problem, and we cancel the alarm. Okay, and the alarm's canceled, and everybody gets an email notification that the alarm is over. So we're looking at the normal HydroGuard status. We are seeing this is the weather data for the HydroGuard. So this is not the weather where you are, this is the weather where HydroGuard is. So you can see what the temperature outside is, what the low and high for the day is, what the humidity is, and the local forecast. We can see the status is there's no alarm. Here's the temperature of the pipe that it's on. The valve, currently the flow is off to the home, so let's turn it back on. We click the valve, and we say turn water on, and within a minute your water will be turned on. Now the alarm is armed. If we want to mute the alarm, for example, let's say we're filling up our swimming pool with our garden hose and we don't want to get a flow alarm, simply click the mute icon, select some number of minutes, hours, or days. Let's say 1 minute, and we say mute. Okay, now you're not going to get any flow or temperature alarms within the next minute. And you'll see this actually count down minute by minute until it hits 0, and then your alarm is active again. If you want to end your mute early, simply set the time back to 0. And our alarm is armed again. Down here, we have a personal water analytic letting us know if we're using more or less water than we normally do. And this is handy if you're trying to conserve water and save money. Down here, we have the app rev. This is 1.0. Now, we can also look at our water usage over time. For a HydroGuard, HydroGuard is a smart leak detector. It tells you when and how long you use water. It does not measure exact gallons or liters, but it does let you know, when and how long. So you can see how many minutes you use your water each hour and see when you're using it longer. We can click on current, and now we're looking at our sound level on our pipe throughout the day, and that's how HydroGuard measures water flow, and this is useful when you're setting your sensitivity level that we'll talk about later. If you want to go to previous days with the left arrow, now you're back to looking at your minutes per hour. And again, in the bar chart, you always see your minutes per hour. The line chart, you see sound level today. In all previous days, you see minutes per hour. You can also see how the weather affects your water usage down here. And you can go right to go forward in time, left to go back. You can go to week view and look at how you're using water each day of the week. You can view your current or your progress, where your current week is in blue and your last week is in purple. And you can compare, are you using more or less water than you did on last Sunday? And we see this week we're using more, so maybe we want to conserve a bit more. We can also look at how the weather affects our water use in high and low temperature or in relative humidity. You can go back or forward in time. Month works the exact same way as week, and year works the same way as month. And then the other thing is you can click on any of these months to go to the month, and any of the days to go to the day. And again, in week view, click on any day to go to that day. And that's the water usage. HydroGuard lets you set a conservation goal to lower your water bills and save money. So we can see this is our September goal. Let's set it down to a much lower level. And after so you just move it with the slider. And then once you leave the slider alone for 5 seconds, it'll upload your new goal to the cloud. And this is our new goal. And we see that this is our use and this is our goal. So, and this is in minutes. And we can see here in previous months, our goal is in green. If we're under our goal, we're in blue because we're good. If we're over our goal, we're red because we have not met our goal. We can go back to previous months with the left arrow or by clicking the bar. and then you get personal feedback on your water use habits. Find out if you're using more water than normal in the morning, at night, and on weekends. Now in the settings menu, we can select a unit. We've got HydroGuard selected. If you want Trident, click on it and say done. We will stick with HydroGuard for the demo. We can rename our units at any time. We can manage our contacts. Let's click to create a new contact that we can share alarms with. So this is our new contact. Okay, and we save our new contact. If we want to delete the contact at a later time, simply click on them, and then we have the option of removing them from our contacts. So once we're happy with the changes, we click Save. Okay, now we're going to assign our contacts to our units. You can assign different people to different units. You may have units that are very far apart, and different people will be able to respond to the alarms. So to assign, we simply put our finger on the person, we slide them over to the unit that we want to assign them to, and now they're assigned. Now to change their level of access, put our finger on the person, pick them up, drop them in place. Now we can set their access level. They can have emergency access where they only share alarms, which is good for neighbors. They have user access where they share alarms and water data. This is good if you've got kids. And they have full access to the unit, which is good for a spouse. So we give them a level of access. If we want to unassign them, simply drag them over to unassigned contact and they're gone. So once we've set our people, we say save. All right, now the next step is to, let's see, we've already shown how to assign valves to units, which you can do at any time. You can register a new unit at any time. You can always go back and connect your unit to your Wi-Fi again if you change router or password. Just rerun this at any time. You can set up cloud APIs. Pick an email that's different from the email you use to log into the app, so you need a second email account, and set a password, and then this will give you access to the cloud APIs, and in a short time this will allow you to use Google and various other smart homes. So you can also set unit alarms. So this is the time to have water flow before you get an alarm. This is the time to have a hot or cold pipe before you get an alarm. You can alarm when water flows for a certain amount of time. You can also alarm when water stops flowing for a certain amount of time, which is useful if you've got a hydroponic system. You can set your high and low temperature limit. You can set so when HydroGuard gets an alarm, do you automatically shut off water? Yes or no, if you've got a Trident connected to it. Display temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can adjust your sensitivity threshold. So by default it's 130 for HydroGuard. If you want to make it more sensitive, like a few people had trouble detecting a faraway bathroom sink, you can set it down to 120 to detect that last sink. If you find that you're getting false alarms, you could set it up to maybe 140 or a little bit higher to make it less sensitive. The vast majority of users can just leave it where it is on 130 and you're all set. Okay, now we've got the alarms. Now we're going to set times when we do not want to get flow alarms. Let's say, for example, that on, in this case on Wednesday, let's change it. Let's say on Sunday morning from 11 to, let's say, 1 p.m. Okay, so from 11 to 1 p.m. on Sunday, we are going to not get any flow alarms, so our sprinklers are not going to set off the flow alarm. And once we're happy with all 4 of our exceptions, which you can enable or disable, then you say save. All right, you can also click Watch Help Videos to go to the Pipe Guardian YouTube channel to watch helpful tutorial videos. And you can log out. You can then, if you want, log in as a different person, or if at some point you forgot your password or you want to change it, simply type in your email, click Email Password Reset Code, and you'll get an email with a code to reset your password. Then click Reset Your Password. Now type in your email, your new password, and the reset code from the email and say send, and then you'll log in with your new password. This has been all the features of the Pipe Guardian Android app. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please contact us.